and today we are playing Batman Arkham Knight. And this is a lore video on Batman Beyond. And right now this is my favorite skin release, so yeah, oh my god, so awesome. Oh, it's so much more armored and stuff, I love it. Anyways, so Sarah, would you like to dive into it first or shall I? Hey. Terry McGinnis is awesome, but would you like to dive into it, or shall I?
No, I'm not ready.
Okay, then I'll dive into it. So, Batman Beyond is not Bruce Wayne.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, right? And he is the official second Batman. And he stays Batman for most of his life, like Bruce Wayne, except the difference is he starts as a teenager. So, think Robin, except awesomer and more high tech. Because it happens like 60 or 50 years into the future, and also Tim Drake are all retired and stuff. And I'm not sure if, well, actually, I'm not even sure if Dick Grayson is alive or not, but yeah, and Barbara's the police commissioner. Do with that what you will. Anyways, so yeah, basically it starts out with young Terry McGinnis, I think 16 years old or something. He's a wrestler in high school, you know how it goes, high school life sucks. Fights a bully, then, and his parents are suffering through a bad divorce, and then his parents, like, whatchamacallit, he's forced to live with his dad, and he's constantly getting in trouble with his dad, constantly getting grounded, saying he wants to go to his mom's, at least I believe, something like that. And, yeah, and one night he leaves when he's grounded, he sneaks out for a party or whatever, and his bully's name, I forget his bully's name, but I remember him being blonde, and I didn't really like the character that much, because he was always getting in his life's way. But, yeah, so he snuck out there, fought the bully, and then the Jokers, which is a gang, because Joker's dead, and then a bunch of people just decided to be Joker for whatever reason. I don't know why anyone would want to do that. And not Batman, Terry fought them off. Then he took a motorcycle as more arrived, and he drove to Wayne Manor, and yeah, I think he was at a cemetery or something. And just when he was about to get the crap beaten out of him, Bruce came and basically told everyone all cool and awesome and Batman-like to get off of his land. And then one guy says, "Or what, old man?" And then he kicks the crap out of everyone with Terry. And then one guy walks up behind him, and it's my favorite scene of the whole episode, and he just knocks him out with his cane like how he did when he was Batman. So, yeah. Sarah, want to take it from here, or do you still want me to continue? Okay. Anyways, there's an echo. Okay. Anyways, so then a little bit later, he goes home and sees that the door is broken and stuff, and cops are there, and he runs in, and his dad is dead. And on the walls is written, "Ha ha 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 ha." And what? Oh, there they are. And yeah, so he gets mad and goes back to Wayne Manor and says that his parents were killed by the Jokers, the same ones that they fought. And he says that Bruce has to help him because he discovered the Batcave. And Bruce says no and tells him to get out. So Batman does, Terry gets out. I'm sorry. Terry gets out, leaves Wayne Manor, and then a few hours later, when Bruce is gonna go to bed or something, he hears Ace, his dog, Bat-Hound, also best dog ever, barking outside, and he goes outside and sees that Ace is on a leash, and he throws a batarang, it's a high-tech one, and cuts the rope, and then he sees the clock is open or something like that, and he goes down there. In his future suit, it doesn't look like this. It's more just plain black with the red symbol and stuff, and teeth, and the eyes are white, but the symbol's the same. Anyways, and then Terry's just gliding in a little bit uncontrollably, and then a few seconds later he gets his footing somehow, and then Bruce talks to him through the comm and basically tells him to get out of his suit and return it, and he says no because he's having too much fun. By the way, this isn't prepared at all. This is just off the top of my head. And yeah, so he gets angry when Terry goes after this guy named something Powers. I forget his first name, but Powers took over Wayne Enterprises, or Wayne Incorporated, or whatever it was going by. And yeah, so he goes after him because he figured out that the reason, or his dad was working for him, and the guy was dealing some radioactive chemical that would basically burn skin off, which is kind of disgusting when you think about it. And yeah, so he goes after them, and after some convincing, Bruce lets him continue using the suit and helps him take him down, and thinks he killed his sidekick, which is basically Ubu, except dumber. And I can't remember his name either because, well, you know. So, yeah, and then Bruce takes him on as his protege and trains him, and now we're going to get into my favorite part. So, eventually, Terry starts getting angrier and angrier because Bruce isn't telling him the whole truth of why he retired from being Batman, and says that it wasn't just your heart, was it? And, well, what happened was when when the series began, it started with Bruce in the suit when he was like 60 or something, and, well, there was this kidnapped girl or whatever, and he went to save her, being Batman, and he basically got overpowered as it was a trap, kind of, and the way he got a thug from not killing him after having a kind of heart attack was he picked up a gun and aimed it at him, and his hand was shaking and all that, but the thug backed off, and he left and said never again and turned off all the lights in the Batcave, and yeah. And then, whatchamacallit, so that's why he retired, because he used the very weapon that killed his parents, that he tried to protect other people from, so no 8-year-old kid would lose their parents because of some punk with a gun. I think that's how it's said. But, yeah, and, then, off in the future, when Terry's an adult, he learns from Amanda Waller. I hate that. She's such a... not gonna get into that. And, yeah, so then he goes there, being Terry McGinnis in an awesome trench coat with batarangs and stuff, and learns that he is a clone of Bruce Wayne. So, yeah, he's technically Bruce Wayne. So, ignore what I said before about him not being Bruce Wayne, because it's technically a lie. But, yeah, and, Terry's all mad about this and says, why? My father was a good man. He was, if not the best. And she explains basically how the same thing occurred. They went to a movie as an 8-year-old, and he was an 8-year-old boy with his parents, and she hired the Phantasm to kill his parents, but the Phantasm wouldn't do it because Andrea said, whatchamacallit, turning someone into Bruce Wayne would, or recreating Batman would be would not be honoring him because they would be killing in order to get their goals. So she basically backed off, but his father ended up dead anyways. So yeah. Hey, at least he has his mom and his little brother, who I sometimes assumed would become Robin if he wasn't so annoying and wasn't a twerp. Anyways, so yeah, he had a long conversation with her, and there's flashbacks as him, or showing him talking to Bruce Wayne, saying why, and Bruce says, why what? Why did you turn me into you, or something like that? And Bruce confesses he didn't know, so yeah, of course he goes to Amanda Waller, because Amanda Waller has to be involved with everything. Sarah, are you still there? I think she's dead. Anyways, so yeah, I guess this is a solo video. Oh, you're still here? Can you take it from here or no? Did you even watch that far into the series?
I didn't watch the series.
You never watched Batman Beyond? What's wrong with you, woman? It's a great series. He was my original favorite Batman besides Bruce Wayne, but yeah, but I like Terry McGinnis best at the time.
I don't think Terry McGinnis is a clone.
He is a clone. It literally said in the show.
I know, but the way it sounded like it just overrided his actual father's DNA.
Well, no, it made him think like Bruce Wayne and all that, and have a similar personality when he was older. But anyways, so yeah, Amanda says, or explains the story, because Terry basically calls Bruce Wayne cold-hearted and all that, and
story about Ace, yeah.
yeah, and she tells a story about Ace, a little girl from the, what are they called? Royal Flush Gang, yeah.
Yeah, I know. It was Royal. I couldn't remember what the part was.
And so yeah, Ace was the third or fourth Ace, I don't know. And she had a power to make hallucinations and stuff, and then eventually she became so powerful that they were becoming real, and she was gonna die soon, but weren't her hallucinations gonna kill everyone or something like that?
No, she had like an aneurysm in her brain.
Yeah, and Bruce said that he would be the one to kill her because he knows her. And when they encountered everything, she let him in and said, "I knew you would come or whatever because I knew you're not, or I know you're not going to use Miss Waller's weapon because you're not going to kill me. You're just going to stay with me." And he stayed with her until she died and carried her body out, and it was really dramatic, and I never even imagined cold-hearted Bruce Wayne doing that. I'm sorry, but he is cold-hearted. He's
Such trust issues.
Sarah, one time. Wait, no, never mind. That was a different Batman. Anyways, so yeah, and Amanda says that in all the people she's met in the Justice League, she's never met anyone as great as Batman, who just used his mind, body, and will and all that jazz. So yeah, and replicating Bruce's DNA wasn't difficult because he literally was everywhere in town with blood at one point or another.
And she made that very specific. It was just blood.
But yeah, I mean, I guess he's not really a clone, but he's like half of one.
There's basically Bruce is his biological father.
Yeah, which is said in the last few minutes of the episode, but we'll get into that soon because, well, that's an awesome thing, and yeah. So, yeah, Terry is more like Dick Grayson. But anyways, since we cleared that up, because I wanted to say that, um, she says that Terry may not be as smart as Bruce, but he does have his heart, and that's the important thing, or something like that. So basically, she pulled an Uncle Ben. With great power comes great responsibility, except heart related. So yeah. Anyways, so he he has another flashback, I believe, with Bruce, and says how it isn't fair, and Bruce says that it wasn't his doing or anything, which is how Terry thought that Amanda was involved. So yeah. And Terry was getting engaged, but then he for some reason stopped it.
Oh, but then he did get engaged.
Yeah, but he stopped it before he saw Amanda, which I don't really understand. Because
Yep, after he saw Amanda.
hang on, shut up. Anyways, but yeah, for some reason he stopped the engagement after things were going well, and I don't remember her name actually. Danielle, something with a D, but I don't remember. Anyways, so yeah, so it's basically like how Mary Jane broke up with Spider-Man in Spider-Man 3. Oh God, that movie. And yes, but instead of her crying, she basically just looked at him like all confused, saying, "Oh, okay, so the villains are gonna get to me, boo-hoo." And Terry says it's not a joke, walks away, and yeah. And then he went to talk to Bruce. Anyway, so at the end of the episode, which this isn't Justice League, not Batman Beyond, but I consider it a Batman Beyond episode because it is revolved around Terry. So, yeah, anyway, so he goes to, he goes to Amanda, has that little chat, and then at the end of it, he leaves her, like, all happy and stuff, like his teenage self, talks to Bruce, and, they have this long, well, not long, but they have this short argument type thing, and when, Bruce says, "I made soup for you, but it's cold," Terry goes to leave and says, "I'll eat it when I get back in." He says, "You need to keep your strength up because, and, then Terry says no, and Bruce says, "You're a stubborn one," and Terry says, "Just like my old man," and gets into a suit and basically pulls a Christopher Reeve Superman. Except flying off it, except he doesn't fly off into the sun, flies off into the moon. So, yeah. And he doesn't smile.
But it's like E.T. at home.
E.T. goes home! So yeah, let's talk about a few things though concerning Terry's gadgets and all that. Which, by the way, none of them come from him. So, yeah, without Bruce, I'm pretty sure he would... Well, actually, no. He has been Batman without Bruce before, and he became... Well, he basically became Bruce, except, you know, not rich. But anyways, so, yeah, he has the... a retractable wing thing in his back of his suit, as you can see. And also he has jet boots, basically the repulsor things that Iron Man has, except way cooler. And it's only to help him when he's falling or something. So basically a jetpack, but for your boots, which in reality, if you had boots that were jetpacks, or jetpack boots, you would just fall over or do flips into the air, because that wouldn't really work. Just like how airboarding or whatever is that water thing. But anyways, think about that except with wings. And the wings help keep him in the air. So he also has a flying Batmobile thing, which I guess could be considered like Dick Grayson's, except it doesn't have wheels, so yeah. Although I liked it because it reminded you that this Batman wasn't like the old one, it was more high-tech and all that, so yeah. And his suit has a stealth mode, so it can turn completely invisible, except you can still hear the voices and the sound and all that. It also has comms in it, a utility belt if I remember correctly, and also it has this weird Spider-Man symbiote grapple hook thing in the wrists, which is just really weird. And also, if you put your hand on glass, if you're in his suit, you could hear whatever's inside the room, so yeah, basically Stalker times 5. So any stalkers that are watching this video, go ahead into the comic book world and take those Batman gloves and have fun. I just encourage some people to probably be insane stalkers. Anyways, so yeah, also the suit helps him have super strength and speed and all that, and reflexes, so yeah. I also, Sarah, doesn't it have a computer or something built into it? I think it did. I can't remember that much of the suit, mainly because he just used most of the stuff I just named. Also, his batarangs are a lot more effective, mainly because there's not 2 types of them. Like, they're all one type, and you could just change it. And also, he has been known to use the Mr. Freeze gun and other villains' weapons multiple times, actually. And here's some of his villains, like Ink, who is there's a villain I'm thinking of, but I can't remember it. Oh, Goop. He's not a villain, but he's like Goop, or she's like Goop from Ben 10 Alien Force. My gosh, I can't believe I remembered that. And yeah, and her only weakness basically is being frozen. So yeah, and there was another person with the same powers, but I don't remember his name, nor do I care, because he was only in 1 episode and it was terrible. I'm sorry, but it was just awful. Then there was another version of Mr. Freeze where he was literally just a head in a robot suit. So yeah, and he fought the Joker with the help of Batman, but the Joker was Tim Drake Joker, which I'm not even gonna get into. Well, I'll get into that in another episode, because, well, I remember that movie, it being my favorite childhood Batman movie that was animated, and I thought it was well written and all that, except Tim Drake being Joker, and the physiology didn't make much sense either. But anyways, so yeah, another villain he had was someone like Kraven the Hunter, except he was more like an assassin bounty hunter type person. So yeah. And all the other villains were either retired or dead, like Batman's Rogues Gallery. So yeah, and not too many criminals feared him, actually, except like a few. But most of them basically laughed in his face. So yeah, that's what I remember from Batman Beyond, which is a great deal of it, shockingly. So I'm going to do a more detailed episode in the future after the Batman Returns and Batman Michael Keaton film DLC lore video. So yeah, and I think I'm just going to do that solo, mainly because, well, I don't think Sarah wants to hear me ramble on about the greatest Batman ever. Just like this one. Which is my second favorite Batman besides Bruce. because he's like Dick Grayson except merged with Iron Man, but way better. Anyway, so yeah, that's the end of this episode, guys. So if you like this video, comment, subscribe, and favorite, and all that fun stuff. Also, I'm gonna be playing in this suit a lot besides the Michael Keaton suit. So yeah, goodbye. And also, we're gonna finish